Interesting section of Joshua now, and that is chapters 14 to 19 are a report of the allotment of the land east of the Jordan. And so on the surface, these chapters don't seem to be all that interesting. There's a lot of geographical locations with some interesting little historical notes. But, as I hope we've learned, just because a passage or a chapter isn't interesting on the surface, that doesn't mean that it's unimportant. As a matter of fact, there's some really important little signs and notes, and so I'll try and point those out. But we'll move rather rapidly from 14 to 19, and that'll land us into 20, where some really significant things happen. So we're going to pick the action up in Joshua 14. And this is sort of like the preface to what's coming. So remember, some tribes have already claimed or been settled in land to the east of the Jordan. And now we get the settlement of the tribes to the west. There's an important note in chapter 14:2. And I've drawn your attention to this last week. We're told, right, that the way that the land allotments are described, they are inheritances, emphasizing the fact that it's a gift from God. And then in 14:2, we get sort of an underlining of that. Their inheritance was by lot, just as the Lord had commanded by the hand of Moses for the 9 1/2 tribes. That is, once again, the emphasis here is on the fact that the land isn't claimed by any tribes. They're assigned it, first through Moses and then through Joshua. But the idea here is that the one who's assigning the land is God himself. And that further emphasizes the fact that the land is not possessed. Now, this is actually helping us to understand Israel as a people. That is, Israel as a people they're not really a nation in the modern sense. It is, in the modern sense, right, we've heard Moses described as meek, but we just want to remember, right, meekness here doesn't mean, oh, who am I to have any ideas about anything, doesn't mean that. Meek does not mean weak, okay? Meek means not egocentric and completely open to the direction of God. So it's interesting, right, in that light, that once we get to the Beatitudes, right, in Matthew 5, Jesus is going to say, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." We're getting a hint of that right now in the person of Joshua. One other thing. And this is kind of actually good because we're coming up on Palm Sunday in 2 Sundays. Remember how Jesus comes into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday? He's riding on a donkey. And Matthew, remember, when he notes that Jesus is on this donkey, quotes from the 9th chapter of Zechariah. "See, my servant comes to you humble and riding on a donkey." That is, the point that Zechariah is making, right, is that